Hey there, this is Christina Johnson, Certified Transformational Nutrition Coach, and I wanted just to talk with you for a little bit today about some of my favorite tips for surviving all of the holiday food. You know, it can be a real challenge. The fact that from Thanksgiving until New Year's, there is constantly food around, lots of good looking food to be eating. And, you know, it can be a challenge for a lot of people that I talk with to find a balance because, you know, we don't want to miss out on all of the delicious holiday food that's available to us, but most of us also don't want to completely derail the effort that we've put into being healthy for the last couple of months. And so I just want to help you today, give you 9 of my favorite tips to kind of help find that balance between being able to enjoy some food without completely spiraling out of control and without feeling guilt, because, you know, that's no fun either. If you're enjoying one of your favorite holiday treats, but then you feel guilty for eating it, you're not really able to enjoy it. And so I do think that there's a balance that can be struck during this holiday season, and I want to share that with you today. Before I get started though, I want to remember to mention that I have just put together a new resource for you. It's one of my favorites because one of my favorite strategies for the holidays is to make healthier versions of some of my favorite holiday foods. And so over the past several years, I have tried a lot of different recipes. Some have been wonderful and way better than the recipes I used to make, and some have been not so good. So I decided this year to pull together 21 of the healthier versions of recipes that I like to make during the holidays, ones that have turned out good, and I put them all together in one guide for you and gave links to all the recipes so that you can kind of just go through that and pick and choose some healthier versions of holiday recipes. And that's one way that you can enjoy holiday treats without the guilt. So above the video, I put a link to a web page where you can just give me your email address and I will send that list of recipes to you right away. So I hope that it's helpful for you. For me, it's so nice to be able to go back and just reuse some of those recipes, and they're ones that honestly I look forward to year after year. Okay, so let's start talking about my tips. I have my list here so that I don't forget any of them. My first tip is to not expect perfection from yourself. You know, this is a mistake that I see some people make. They feel like they've been working so hard for the past several months on improving their health and eating healthy and exercising and losing weight, and they expect to maintain all of that during the holidays. And the truth is that this is a busier time of year, so maybe you don't have enough time, as much time as you did before, to work out as often. Maybe you do want to enjoy a holiday treat here and there. So what happens is that if you expect yourself to be perfect, then the minute that you break one of those rules, or, you know, that expectation that you have for yourself, then you figure, well, I already had, you know, one Christmas cookie with tons of frosting on it, so I might as well eat 2, and then I might as well have a glass of eggnog, and you just can spiral out of control really easily. So my best recommendation is to be realistic with yourself on what you can expect out of yourself during the holidays. So I'm curious, can anyone relate to that kind of mistake of expecting yourself to be perfect during the holidays? If you can, just put me in the comments or, you know, hit the like button. I'd love to kind of know if anyone can relate to that one. Okay, here's my second tip, and I have a feeling that more of you will probably be able to relate to this second tip, and that is this. Be aware of feeling like you deserve to splurge just because it's the holidays. Can anyone relate to that one? Where you feel like, it's the holidays, I'm gonna have a piece of fudge and a Christmas cookie and an extra glass of wine and this and that because it's the holidays. And then what's easy to fall into is thinking, you know, I've already splurged at this party and this one, I'm just gonna not worry about what I eat until January. Has anybody ever thought that before? I'd love to hear if you have in the comments or by clicking like. I just think it is so easy to fall into this trap of just thinking you'll worry about it in January. But I just recently heard a statistic that it takes the average person 5 months to lose the weight they gain during the holiday season. 5 months. So that just, I mean, it just sets you up for failure in January when you're, you know, kind of behind the game before you even start. So be aware of just feeling like that you deserve to splurge. Okay, number 3. This is kind of how you can balance out number 1 and number 2. So number 3 is to decide in advance when you will enjoy a holiday treat. So I love this strategy because part of the issue with the holidays is that there is food everywhere, all day long, every day between Thanksgiving and Christmas or New Year's. So when I used to be a teacher, there was like 3 days of goodie tables where there was food constantly. There'd be parents bringing in all kinds of treats for like weeks ahead of Christmas. There'd be all kinds of, special events and parties, and just you could graze on food all day, every day for weeks. And, that's the problem, is thinking like, oh, there's a plate of cookies here, I'll just grab one. But you do that several times a day for many days, and you're really kind of in a bad spot. So to counteract that, the idea is to just decide, okay, I know I have a hard work party coming up on Friday night, and I'm gonna enjoy dessert there, but I'm not going to enjoy anything else until then. So Thursday and Friday, you decide I'm not grazing on all of the food in front of me, but I'm going to consciously choose to enjoy a treat Friday night. So ideally, I like to kind of decide at least 24 hours in advance when I'm going to indulge in something, because that just kind of takes out those like spur of the moment kind of decisions to eat something that, just isn't the best decision for me. And I feel like that can be a really good way to balance out still getting to enjoy some treats during the holidays without eating constantly. So that's number 3, deciding in advance when you're going to enjoy a treat. All right, number 4. Here's another mistake I see people make often, and that is to save up calories before a big event. Let me know if you ever do this one, where like you have a big holiday party coming up that night. So you skip breakfast, you don't eat much for lunch, and then by the time it's time for this party or dinner or whatever it is, you are starving. And so instead of making some healthy, wise choices, you just eat anything and everything that's in sight. When you're that depleted of food, your energy levels and your willpower is going to be severely depleted as well. So instead of saving up your calories, choose to eat a really healthy breakfast and a really healthy lunch. Make sure you're eating good protein and good fat, because that will help you to go into that party feeling full and satisfied so that you don't eat everything in sight. And, maybe you want to cut out all sugar that day in order to save up for the party. Or, there's little things like that you can do, but don't survive the day on carrot sticks and think that you'll be able to eat healthy during the party. It just probably isn't going to happen. All right, number 5, another great idea is if you're going to an event, just bring a healthy side dish to share. Whether somebody asks you to bring one or not, even if you're not expected to bring something, bring a veggie tray, bring some fruit. It's kind of surprising, but those kinds of dishes go over really well at holiday parties because there's a lot of people who want a healthy option. So by bringing that yourself, you know that there's at least one dish that you can enjoy, and you can kind of fill up on that and maybe just eat a couple other little things along with it. Okay, number 6 here is probably my favorite strategy, and that is to make your own holiday treats. So instead of eating, a traditional recipe that somebody has made of fudge or pie or, a store-bought cookies, I stay away from all of that. And instead, I just very consciously choose 2 or 3 recipes that look delicious to me that are made with real food ingredients. So they're made with things like eggs or coconut flour. And instead of a bunch of refined sugar being added to it, they're sweetened with things like honey or maple syrup or coconut sugar. And so I can feel better about eating those kinds of treats because they still have some nutritional value to them, and they usually have less sugar and processed, ingredients in them than, a normal version. So that's one of my favorite recipes, and that's why I put together the guide that I mentioned at the beginning. So if you missed that, you can click the link above this video to just let me know that you would like me to send you this collection of recipes that I put together that are all healthy holiday recipes that I have enjoyed the past few years. Okay, number 7, limit alcohol consumption. It's so easy to go to parties or events and, kind of just get sucked into drinking a glass of wine or champagne or whatever it may be. And while I wouldn't say, eliminate that entirely, it can be a really good idea to just pace yourself. Because I think we all know that once we start drinking more, our inhibitions are lowered and it's so much easier to start reaching for more food. So just kind of pace yourself when it comes to alcohol. Decide in advance, there's that other tip again, decide in advance how many drinks you're going to enjoy and stick with it. And have some water. Make sure you're drinking lots of water between the alcoholic drinks if you have more than one. Okay, number 8 is make sure you move through the holiday season. It doesn't have to be an hour at the gym, but by just being active, even stretching or doing, some push-ups and squats and crunches, that can just help you feel better about yourself. And when you're feeling better, like you're taking care of yourself, then it's a lot easier to stick with healthy eating choices. So be active, even if it's literally 10 or 15 minutes a day. That I think will just improve your mood and your desire to eat healthy. And lastly, number 9 is manage your stress. This time of year can be really stressful, whether it's just how busy your schedule is, whether it's all the extra things you need to do, the shopping and the baking and the decorating, the extra events that are on your calendar. Or, let's face it, Christmas can be a difficult time of year for a lot of people. If you've recently lost someone that you love, if you are separated from loved ones, if, it can be really a hard time and a lonely time. And so it's really easy when we don't deal with that stress or the loneliness or all those emotions. It's so easy to just turn to food. And, eating that food is not going to make those emotions go away. We're just stuffing it down. So be willing to deal with your stress, to prioritize your time, and to just kind of deal with whatever tough emotions come up. It's not easy to face it, but it's usually easier than continuing to stuff it down with food. So those are my 9 tips for you on just kind of how to navigate and maneuver through the holidays while eating healthy, yet, feeling like you still get to enjoy a treat every now and then. So I'm curious about which of those tips you feel like would be easiest for you to implement, or what you think would be most helpful for you. So would you just share one tip that you're taking away that you want to try this year? Or if you have an additional tip that works really well for you, will you share that in the comments? It's always fun to hear ideas from other people on what works for you during the holidays. So I would love to hear that as well. And remember that I have put together a list of 21 healthy holiday recipes, and I would love to share that with you just to make your holidays go a little smoother, to be healthier, and so that you can still enjoy some treats without feeling kind of just yucky afterwards and without feeling guilty for eating it. So make sure you go to that link above the video. It's ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/holiday recipes, and just let me know what your email address is and I will email it to you right away. So I hope that you are enjoying this holiday season. I hope that that you're being able to eat well, enjoy what's important to you during this time of the year, whether it's just spending time with family or friends, and making new memories. So I would love to hear any comments that you have or any questions, and I will talk to you again next week.